WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news in Israel, where Iran launched dozens of missiles. Israel says only a few people were injured, and most of the missiles were shot down by their air defense system.
U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says naval destroyers also helped shoot down some of those missiles. Iran says the attack is retaliation after Israeli forces killed Hezbollah, Hamas, and Iranian military leaders in recent weeks. Israel is now promising a response.
We have live team coverage for you tonight. WESH 2's Tony Atkins spoke with members of the Palestinian community at a news conference that was planned before the missile attack to mark what they call 1 year of genocide of the Palestinian people. I want to start things off with Justin Shecker, who has been speaking with Jewish leaders across the state.
And our team coverage continues with a pro-Palestinian protest in downtown Orlando. This was organized before today's strikes.
WESH 2's Tony Atkins joins us live. Tony, the Palestinian Network is demanding a full week of action to support the Palestinian people in Gaza.
Yeah, Stuart, not a lot of people gathered outside today, but on a day like today, a milestone in this conflict, they said it was key to get out in front of City Hall here to make their voices heard today. Stay on top of that. Saturday's protest is set to begin at 4 p.m. I'm reporting live at City Hall. Tony Atkins, WESH 2 News.
Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott released a statement on X after the attack saying, quote, 4 years ago, Iran was weak, broke, and powerless. Today, after years of appeasement from the Biden-Harris administration that has given to access to billions of dollars, we watch in horror as the evil Iranian regime terrorizes Israel with a wave of missile attacks. The U.S. must stand strongly with Israel, give it everything it needs to respond, and be clear that Iran will pay dearly for these attacks. Meanwhile, Florida Democratic representative also released a statement on X. Darren Soto saying, quote, thank you, President Biden, for your decisive military action, helping Israel defend itself against the provocative Iranian missile attack. We stand with our ally Israel and support Biden's continued plans to seek peace and bring the hostages home.
And this will now likely be a big talking point during tonight's vice presidential debate. Tim Walz and J.D. Vance will square off in their one and only scheduled debate. You can watch live coverage of the debate hosted by CBS News starting at 8 o'clock right here on WESH 2.
There are strong storms that are developing and moving across central Florida at this hour.
Yeah, they've got some pretty strong gusts of wind as well. Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi joins us right now. So what's the latest?
Yeah, Cam and I were just looking at that storm over towards Rock Ledge with gusts 35 to 40 miles an hour. You can see we're there at about 1,100 lightning strikes now. That's like a midsummer afternoon with that heat and humidity. Things are pretty quiet through Flagler and Marion. A couple showers there over towards Waresdale and over towards Bellevue. But things pick up here as you go from Claremont back towards downtown Orlando. There's Claremont, there's Groveland, some showers and storms at Coe, Windermere. Not as intense as earlier as things are kind of weakening along the 429. But look at Winter Park, back towards the 417, Lake Jessup, over towards Oviedo. Getting a little bit farther to the east, Chuliota, Bitlow, moderate to heavy rain here. And you can see how this big storm is slowly winding on down. But there were some intense winds here just a short time ago. In fact, you can see we're now in that 25, 35 mile an hour range with both those little clusters of storms and a little bit of rain now headed back towards Keynessville. So things will wind down here between about 7 and about 7:30. It's going to be a warm and muggy night tonight, and we're going to do it all over again tomorrow. We'll take a look at that setup for tomorrow, plus the active tropics, and we're looking at that feature in the Caribbean for you coming up at 6:18.
Tony, thank you. Now to some breaking news. The state plans to seek the death penalty for a woman charged in a deadly ambush of Lake County deputies. Julie Sulpizio is now accused of luring those deputies into the ambush in August. She's charged with first-degree murder and the killing of Master Deputy Bradley Link. Prosecutors say they want the death penalty because the murder was cold, calculated, and premeditated, and because the victim was a law enforcement officer. Investigators say Sulpizio sent deputies to her home where her family members were waiting before they opened fire on deputies as they came in. She has pleaded not guilty.
New tonight at 6, Seminole County just approved the permit required to remove cement poured into a private stormwater system near Longwood. Shadow Bay Boulevard has had flooding issues for months, which residents took one of their neighbors to court over, blaming the concrete plug she installed. Diane Goglas faced a code enforcement fine because of it, but after a judge told her it had to go, she started working to remove it. With an approved permit, she now needs to hire a contractor and attend a pre-construction meeting before the work can begin.
Today, nearly 36 new state laws take effect, including one that bans people from sleeping or camping on public property. Now, there's currently a major shortage of shelter beds, That's happening across Central Florida, and those against the law say it will only exacerbate Florida's lack of affordable housing. Local governments and cities will now be required to maintain designated homeless camps. Anyone sleeping or camping on public property not in those camps can be arrested. The Christian Service Center says Orange County is currently short more than 700 beds.
We have family, children sleeping on the streets, and it's inhumane to arrest them when we have no other solution. We need more transitional, more supportive housing, to help them gain sustainability and the pathway to freedom.
Local governments have until January 1st before they can be sued by residents and businesses for allowing people to sleep on public property. Once lawsuits are filed, counties will only have 5 days to find a spot. Now, some of the other laws now in effect include a bill prohibiting the use of a tracking device or app without a person's consent, a bill that requires FDLE to establish training relating to Alzheimer's and related forms of dementia, and a bill that makes it a crime if someone receiving medical treatment exposes first responders to fentanyl if that first responder experiences an overdose or serious injury. Now, you can find a full list of the new laws on our website, WESH.com.
United Launch Alliance is preparing for the second ever launch of its Vulcan Centaur rocket from our Space Coast. The rocket is going through the wet dress rehearsal right now after rolling out to the pad at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station Monday. The upcoming flight test will help certify the rocket for future missions for the U.S. Space Force. The launch is currently set for 6 a.m. on Friday. When it happens, you can watch it live here on WESH 2.
All right, be careful on the roads tomorrow morning. You may notice a lot more kids riding their bikes and walking, and that is because Wednesday is Walk and Bike to School Day. It's meant to encourage kids to incorporate regular exercise and decrease the risk of obesity. Please do not forget to wear a helmet.
New at 6, Marion County Fire Rescue crews saved a dog that fell down a 14-foot hole. You can see a rescuer had to be lowered down into that hole to get Bella out on Monday night. Returned to her owner unharmed.
WESH is partnering with Come Out with Pride for the 2024 Pride Parade. The event is one of the biggest Pride celebrations in the Southeast and the largest single-day event here in Central Florida.
Last year, more than 220,000 people came out to Lake Eola for the parade, festival, and fireworks show. So this year, they are changing up the parade route. It'll now start at Orange Avenue and East Washington Street, turns onto Central Boulevard, then goes down Roslyn Avenue and Robinson Street before ending at Eola Drive. You can watch the parade exclusively on our website, WESH.com, the WESH 2 Facebook page, or on Very Local. Live coverage began at 4 p.m. on October 19th.
Still ahead, the parents of a young boy that stopped breathing while on a ride at Disney say one thing likely saved his life.
We're very fortunate to have him here and for the people that actually helped us out.
The message they are sharing and hoping other parents take seriously. Plus,
a new state law to protect home buyers. Sellers now have to disclose exactly what kind of flood risk exists on that property.
Ahead for us, the flooding disaster in North Carolina, what the head of FEMA tells me amid questions about the government response, and businesses bracing for the impact of that big strike by dock workers. We'll tell you more on NBC Nightly News.
A 5-year-old boy is alive tonight after he stopped breathing and started having seizures while on a ride at Disney. Christine and Ernesto Tagle say this happened about 20 seconds into riding the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. As soon as they could, they pulled their 5-year-old son Ernesto off, and Christine began doing CPR. A nurse and firefighter who were nearby stopped to help. Then cast members brought over an AED.
Every doctor that has come into our rooms while we were at the hospital with him, they all credited Christine for saving his life, basically.
The family is now making it their mission to encourage others to take CPR classes and make AED machines more accessible. Ernesto was taken to 3 hospitals and was eventually diagnosed with the condition with an abnormal heart rhythm. He had surgery and had a device placed on the side of his chest that will automatically shock him if necessary. Within days, Ernesto was back to his happy, high-energy self.
Oh, my goodness. Love that ending. All right, a new state law took effect today, assuring full disclosure to home buyers when it comes to the flooding risk at the home that they're trying to buy.
WESH 2's Dave McDaniel looks at how the law lays out what many realtors say has always been their best practices to assure all are protected.
Now, for people with flood insurance and not in a flood zone, it's less expensive. And if the zone change and include your property, you can likely keep a lower rate.
We have some changes to beach driving and parking passes in Volusia County, and they are now in effect. Starting today, County residents can register online or in person for a free driving and parking pass. The price for a non-resident driving and parking pass is now $30. That's up from $20. The annual pass is now $150, up from $100. Existing pass holders can still use them until they expire. For more information about registering, head to our website, WESH.com.
Businesses along the Volusia County coast know what it's like to go through a hurricane, and that is why a new Smyrna Beach restaurant is helping those in the Tampa Bay area as they recover from Hurricane Helene. Now, Merck's Bar and Grill has turned some of their seating into essentially a big donation bin. The manager started a drive to help victims of Helene. She just didn't know how big it would become.
It's like overwhelming. Like every day we're like, I can't believe how much people care. It's a good feeling.
Unless you've lived through it, like you can have compassion. We all have compassion, but until you're so humbled that a glass of water is, something, you realize we have to come together and we have to help each other as a community.
Merck's will be collecting donations through Friday. They say they are in need of toiletries and cleaning supplies the most.
And you can help people impacted by Hurricane Helene. We have a page on our website, WESH.com, where you can donate to the American Red Cross. You can find the link directly on our homepage.
And taking a look at our live radar, it is really rocking and rolling in some parts of Central Florida right now.
Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi takes us outside. And Tony, it's cloudy behind you.
Yeah, I tell you what, downtown Orlando is looking a little bit better, but just to the east over towards UCF, down towards Waterford Lakes, Avalon Park, they are getting hit pretty hard. And at least the rain has kind of taken the edge off of the heat. It was a hot one out there today. Temperatures in the 90s in many locales. Just a couple showers up here into far southern Marion County, just north of the Villages. A few more sprinkles near Claremont, Groveland, south side of Lake Apopka. Things are winding on down here. It was coming down pretty good a short time ago, but thankfully things have weakened. Not the case, though, along the 417 over towards Lake Monroe, Lake Jessup, over towards Oviedo, Chuliota, down towards Bitlow, over towards UCF, and then here towards Wedgefield, Avalon Park, over towards Lake Nona, the airport. There are some ground delays there right now, and over towards East Orlando, we'll have to watch over towards Azalea Park, Rio Pinar, and Waterford Lakes as just mentioned. All right, there's a look now. Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, Cocoa, Satellite Beach getting in on the rain. Big burst of wind now. Coming right down I-95 just a short time ago. It was around 35, 40 miles an hour. As you can see, it's starting to come down a little bit, and rain redeveloping back towards the turnpike. That will try to head over towards central and southern Brevard County a little bit later on. Lingering showers through 9, muggy night by 11. Temperatures in the upper 70s and the lower 80s with that trough of low pressure now to our north tomorrow. It's going to be wash, rinse, and repeat. More afternoon showers and thunderstorms yet again. Notice the coverage tomorrow by the afternoon. Sanford, Orlando, Kissimmee, Winter Haven on south and east. That's where the greatest risk for those heavier thunder showers will be. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon, 85 to about 90 degrees. So a little bit cooler than today, but still warm at or above average through the interior. And as we take a look now at the land, temperatures here running in the mid to the upper 80s, so we're not too concerned about the intense heat there. Crocus now a hurricane. Leslie is on the way. Those two features are going to go out to sea. It's this feature here in the Caribbean that we will have to watch. A little impulse comes in from the Pacific, and that other piece there in the southwestern Caribbean will ride north. So it's kind of a long, elongated piece of energy that's going to come our way over a couple of days. Now, the trend here is more for the global models to turn towards the south and the east as a cold front is going to be backing on in. So overall today, the models are weaker. Timing trends Sunday through about Wednesday night. We're hoping for this continued shift off towards the south. Let me show you the Euro setup. There's your two areas of low pressure, one coming in from the Pacific, one coming in for the Caribbean. The Pacific is a slower mover. There's the cold front. That's going to bring some of the rain there in through Tuesday. And then as that one's lifting on out, another feature is going to skim across, and then eventually this cold front is going to push everything off towards the south and the east. Now, if the Euro and GFS are right, we could be looking at the potential for a significant amount of rain. So the timing of that cold front and where everything eventually winds up is going to be the key to the forecast. So keep checking back in for those rainfall totals. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rainfall chances going down, but not rain-free for Friday night football. But we're watching Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday down in the tropics.
All right, tonight in sports, back to school for the Orlando Magic. What the team's top stars had to say after day one of training camp is officially in the books. Plus, a change is coming in Tallahassee with one starter down. How will a change at quarterback impact the struggling Florida State Seminoles?
Join WESH 2 as we celebrate the rich Hispanic heritage in our Central Florida communities. Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 and 7 p.m. on WESH 2 News. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Summer break is over and a new season is almost here. Hey everybody, I'm Kristen Lago. The Magic returning to the court in 2024, fresh off their most successful season in over a decade. However, with all of the newfound success comes more pressure and higher expectations. You hear the sound, you know what it means. We are more than halfway through the regular season under those Friday night lights, so you also know the drill. Our Friday night hits game of the week is Oviedo at Haggerty, but we do decide which game will be featured second in our show. These are your choices for this week's fan pick poll. Now we'll stay open tomorrow afternoon, so get those votes in. The winner will then be announced tomorrow on WESH at 6 p.m. We'll be right back.
We have several stories we're following for you tonight at 7.
Yeah, we are staying on top of the breaking news out of Israel tonight. Iran launched 2 waves of ballistic missiles, how the U.S. is responding and how Jewish leaders across Florida are reacting. Plus,
70 acres of land in Osceola County are set to be rezoned from agricultural and conservation to industrial manufacturing. How the project is set to help keep up with the county's rapid population growth.
That's our report for tonight. ABC Nightly News with Lester Holt is next.
We will see you again at 7 and then at 10 and 11. Have a great night.